A new age of RTS strategy will dawn the day this game gets released, and that is not just my opinion, it is also what Chris Taylor, the creator of Total Annihilation and Supreme Commander, thinks of this game. The developers of Sanctuary Shattered Sun had an online interview with him and could not have gotten higher praise than this. Now, I want to explain to you why they deserve it. This is going to be a grand scale sci-fi real-time strategy featuring 3 factions, maps which are miles across, 50 types and upwards of 10,000 individual units, and there will also be multiplayer for up to 8 players. The combat will be completely simulated, with every projectile, laser beam and missile being an individual weapon flying across these massive battlefields. These few talented people have been working on this game for several years now with an ever-expanding team of indie developers and have now launched their own Steam page, link below. You can also support this game on Patreon, as hundreds are already doing, while a Kickstarter campaign will be launching soon with a beta version of the game following in early 2023. The clip of that cinematic trailer you saw at the beginning is just a taste of the talent behind this game. It is set on the surface of a Dyson Sphere, a colossal structure which encompasses our own sun in the distant future. And this isn't going to be just a theme, but also an actual mechanic, because with powerful enough weapons you can destroy the ground, open up chasms, and drop enemy units into the sun. You will even be able to control the weather and turn it into another weapon in your arsenal by taking over certain nodes on the map. There is a special unit in Sanctuary, like the ones in games it is inspired by, which can be taken down, but comes with a sort of second wind mechanic and sets of different chassis that you can switch to at great cost over the course of the game. Every switch allows for upgrades that split into special groups and specialize the unit. To control the vast battlefields and thousands of units, you will be able to take the camera from a zoom of a single unit up to the satellite point of view and survey almost the entire battlefield at once. Bridges and skyscrapers are part of the landscape, and while the former can be broken, fixed and crossed underneath and over, the latter can be destroyed, crashing down on enemy units. Considering Unity is the engine used for this game, modding it should be very easy, and developers want you to have fun doing it. There is in fact already a map editor and a random map generator, which you can try out for free on their Discord, and you can see how it works for yourself. I know you're probably worried how will the game perform with thousands of units, simulated weapons, building exploding left and right, even the ground itself being broken. But thanks to multithreading, the engine will push out all of this with high frames to boot. You shouldn't expect the full game to be released before 2025, but I think that considering the scope of this undertaking, it will be quite worth the wait. We haven't seen much about how the economy side of gameplay is going to function in Sanctuary Shattered Sun, but from what I have read, it will be a type of streaming economy like in Supreme Commander Forged Alliance, meaning you will get to build what you want, when you want. The speed at which it builds will depend on your resource stocks and how many workers builders are tasked with building. In other words, you can spend resources before you get them by using them immediately as generated and not needing to save up the cost associated with a unit. You just queue up a lot of units in a building and it produces them as resources trickle in. This lets you focus more on the battles themselves and how you will use these units instead of going back to base to click on individual buildings to order up more units. It means both the economy and battles are in constant flow as units are replaced as they are destroyed, and a map-wide conflict continues without pause. It is definitely a different kind of gameplay than what you might be used to if you mostly play games like Command & Conquer or Blizzard RTS games. But you could never get this kind of huge scale if you didn't use that flowing economy style. Graphical fidelity in this game has been improving steadily over the years, and while when I first showcased it in one of my lists of upcoming RTS games, it looked part of the previous decade, it now looks one decade ahead. The weapon effects, the shields, explosions, physics, it all looks amazing, and they constantly work on new improvements which will make it totally worth it to zoom in and just enjoy the carnage alongside fantastic in-game music. As for the story, I will tell you a bit about it and the factions involved in this video, but I will go into much more detail in a future video. Sanctuary is both the name of the game, but also the megastructure it takes place on. It was to be a paradise to live on for trillions of people, but a conflict which was cooking up for centuries erupted as an attempt to incorporate the moon into the Dyson Sphere failed and it crashed into it, killing billions and ruining a large chunk of the superstructure. The regular normal humans and their offshoot, the new mechanized humans with brains converted to liquid light energy matrices, inevitably blamed each other and the war began in earnest. Now the normal humans of the Earth Defense Alliance, EDA for short, and upgraded Chosen, tear each other to pieces and the surface of Sanctuary in the process. This has led Sanctuary's AI caretaker named Ra to repurpose Sanctuary's worker bots to create the Guard, a robotic army which is designed to protect Sanctuary by pacifying the warring humans and their post-human relatives. It is the greatest war the solar system ever witnessed, and it is what you will play out with the faction of your choice. The Guard, with their incredible intel and reconnaissance capabilities, as well as overwhelming numbers of near-expendable drone vehicles, supported by a small complement of unconventional specialist units and powerful experimentals. Or maybe the Chosen, a society of post-humans who have transferred their consciousness from flesh to machine and are the most technologically advanced faction. They wage war from their supercomputer networks, leading armies of killing machines as beautiful as they are deadly, meaning quality over quantity. Or you will stay faithful to the original humans and choose the Earth Defense Alliance, favoring a shock and awe doctrine, decimating your enemies with a plethora of destructive ornaments. Many of their units use guerrilla warfare tactics, a combination of stealth technology and heavy armor to attack where the enemy least expects it. Whichever faction you end up going with, I bet you will have lots of fun. Ultimately, the success of this game will rest on the player base and its acceptance of it. I have seen games that look like they traveled through time from the 90s, gained millions of followers, but also games that look stunningly get hundreds. Gameplay and content are usually the most deciding factors, meaning graphical quality alone definitely isn't enough. For me personally, there is a certain minimum a game must cross, so I enjoy looking at it while playing. But I will agree with many of my viewers that gameplay comes first, and if you get engrossed in a game deep enough, you won't even notice the graphics. I really hope these developers manage to pull off this trifecta of gameplay, content and graphics with Sanctuary Shattered Sun. So far they certainly look to be on the right path, confirmed by none other than Chris Taylor. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to wishlist Sanctuary Shattered Sun on Steam, while you can pick any of the cards on the screen to learn about other RTS games you might enjoy.